Well, it's been quite a month since we've seen you. You win the biggest race of the year for the third time. Is that right?
Prototypes.
Third time at Prototypes. Then you went off to South Africa, your home country, for a remarkable honor. Like I said, there's Hall of Fames, but like Derek's dad has been recognized by the Queen of England as an MBE. You are now in the South African People's Hall of Fame, not just racing, and with Nelson Mandela. I mean, what was it like to process?
Well, it was really scary, Tommy. I can stand up anywhere and talk about racing and so on and so forth, but going to this function, when I recognized that this was now not just the Hall of Fame of Sebring, this is the country.
Yeah.
And so the biggest panic I had was, what am I going to say? So Barbara Burns, who had done some of my PR in the past.
Do you like your new title, Wayne?
Head of the Paul McCartney fan club.
Oh, yeah, that looks great.
It was either South African Hall of Fame or...
What about Elton John?
Yeah, well, Elton John. That's...
Okay, that's fine. Okay, anyway, so the most nervous part of it for me was what that speech was going to be about. And so Barbara Burns, who did my PR back in 95, and you can see I'm a baby.
You had a microphone guy in South Africa.
Yeah. Anyway, we went up to the room and we prepared all these little notes and stuff, and we timed it. It was going to take 4 minutes, 28 seconds, and that was going to be it. And I got up on the stage. I put the pages down. I looked at the first one, and I ignored the rest and spoke for 11 minutes. Yeah. But prior to asking, I said to them, how long can I talk? And I said, as long as you want. And of course, my family, Jordan and everybody, were really panicked because normally I can talk and babble on and on and on. But it was really a great honor because coming from South Africa, where all our roots are, we weren't really recognized in our earlier day, because of apartheid and so on. And only now recently have they recognized that, we are still one country. And to be recognized next to people like Nelson Mandela, Gary Player, Ernie Els, I think, and the South African rugby team that won the World Cup was pretty amazing.
There's sort of I listened to an interview with Laura Logan recently, and she said there's kind of a collective identity for the country that you're kind of way off by yourselves and not in the middle of the world's actions. That's how she characterized it. And so everyone wants to kind of go make their mark on the world stage. Is that safe to say? Was there something?
Well, it is. Well, I'll give you an example. Growing up in South Africa, the highest in South Africa for any sportsman, you get what's called this, in our apartheid era, was getting a blazer with a springbok on it, and that was the national thing, and everybody wanted to get that. Rugby players, cricket players, and so on. And they later on turned it to motorsport, and I actually got the Springbok colors. And I came to America, and I never went back for 5 years because I was trying to make a living here. And all of a sudden, I get a note from the South African embassy that you are no longer a South African, and we need to destroy your passport. And by the way, your Springbok colors, you need to hand them back. But we will send you something to replace it. And they sent me this badge of the Protea colors. So once Nelson Mandela got out, apartheid was obliterated, and so nobody ever wanted the Springbok blazer. So as much as we wanted to use it, I could never use it.
Yeah.
And now I'm probably way too big to wear it anyway, because I was a little boy in those days. But it was pretty awesome, I have to say.
And you had your family there with you. Now, before we went on air, you were, cool. Your dad couldn't get his headset on right. You were trying to help him out. Dads are just lame, right?
Yeah.
So, what was it like seeing your dad recognized in that kind of a context?
It's still hard to believe. We went to Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was held for 18 years, and to think of a guy that everyone knows is a household name everywhere in the world. He's inducted alongside someone like that. And obviously you grew up with a dad, and dads are just dads. And, he was a race car driver, whatever. We just go there on the weekends and watch him race. But to understand that he's been recognized by his country from not just what he's done in the car, but as a team owner and as a person, going out and leaving the country with nothing and building something from it, and them respecting that. So it was pretty cool.
Well, now I'm going to change gears a little bit. You're literally my single favorite social media account that I follow. If I had to choose one social media account, would be this guy,
online.
Jordan Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
thank you.
You've documented your dad falling over a fence once. He doesn't disappoint. He provides some good material.
Yeah.
Now, down there, what was up with the chipped tooth?
Oh, God, how do you know about that?
How do I know about it?
Who did you
the day
tell?
before he left,
Who did you
the
tell?
day he left, the day he was leaving for South Africa for the Hall of Fame, he chipped it. So he was going to go to the Hall of Fame with a chipped tooth. So he was up till midnight patching it. Does the Hall of Fame, then we go to do a hike.
No, hang on 1 second. I went to the dentist. They did it at night.
Well, obviously,
Okay.
you
Well,
didn't do
Yeah,
it.
it sounded like he was doing a
Little Bond
DIY.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm Bond.
And then we were hiking up a mountain, and he went to like open a water bottle the same way you broke it, and he chipped the same part again. And he looked ridiculous.
Smart one.
Yeah.
What's the Hangover?
Oh, the Hangover, yeah.
Hangover, yeah.
Hangover. The other one I saw was you guys were all eating dinner, and he's just like standing there staring at the corner of the wall. You put him in time out.
No,
Like,
he
that's what
he used
he
to
did
get
when
in
he was a
trouble
kid.
in school, and he was explaining how he used to get in trouble, and they made him stand in a corner and not talk to anyone, and he would repeat the line over, "I'm sorry, Mr. Stevens. I'm sorry, Mr. Stevens. I won't do that again."
I mean, Wayne,
I wish I'd known that. I would have made Jim Miller do that to him after Lime Rock 1991.
Well, I do have to say one thing. This weekend is the anniversary
Oh.
of the Aces.
Does everybody know that? So there we are. We're in
Right
the
next door.
Victory Circle here. Live TV, network TV. This is exactly why I'm no longer on it. What happens is that your producer in your ear is saying, giving you instructions, and they said, "We have no time at all. You just got to get Jordan." So I get Jordan. They went, "Actually, you have time for Ranga. Get Ranga." So get Ranga, and then they go, "Actually, we have like another minute." So you're looking around, like scanning, and I see Wayne, and I think this is going to be lovely, and I go up and I go, "Well, how was it then?" And he just goes, "Fucking ace!" And I'm just going, and I hug him and I go, "We're on TV. We're on TV." So at the next race, there's the card. There you are. That's it. It's standing. It's on my.
That's
It's
the
on
ace.
right on my desk, memorialized forever.
Oh,
Thanks for
gosh.
that. That's why I'm not on TV this year.
Now, I feel a little bad that we've had Jordan on. You've been on more than anyone else in the history of the Torque Show so
I'm
far.
honored.
But we end up talking to everyone else or about everyone else.
That's okay.
It's okay. Well, now, winning with Jeff Gordon, winning with Fernando Alonso, I'm going to start calling you like the Sherpa. You know how the Sherpas carry
Yeah,
people
Mount
up to the
Everest?
top of Mount Everest?
Yeah.
You carry famous people to the Rolex podium.
Not
in
quite.
Daytona. Not quite.
I don't think it's the same as a Sherpa.
Okay. Talk about a little bit about the conditions and so forth, but also every time you drive with someone else, you learn something. Tell us what
Yeah.
you've learned from a Jeff Gordon, from Fernando Alonso. It's got to be helping your game.
Oh, for sure. I think just two guys of similar levels and similar backgrounds of just being super successful in their sport. You understand their work ethic. Like Jeff came into a new world. He didn't know sports car racing. All he did was ask questions and want to learn, and never stopped asking questions. So when he got in the car, he was the best prepared he was, and it proved when he was on the track, even in the rain, which he's never driven in the rain. So Ricky and I were able to learn that kind of thing from Jeff, and then Fernando. I think you just learn intensity. Every time he's in the car is absolutely 100%.
Right.
Every single corner, every single pass, whether it's practice or in the race. So I think just understanding your own personal limitations and being comfortable at your own limit. He is obviously extremely comfortable, and it shows when he's in the car because he's always on the edge and getting the most out of the car. So I think for me, it's teaching me to just explore more about my ability and what I can do in the car. And I think in the race, I wanted to push myself there at Daytona to kind of see, what I could do alongside of an Alonso or a Kobayashi or a Ranger, and kind of understand how I stack up and what our feedback's like, what kind of race cars we like. So I think you can always learn no matter who it is. Even if it's an amateur guy, sometimes they can roll more speed through turn 3, and you're like, how did he do that?
Yeah.
He might not know how he did it.
Jack
but
Hicks, at the weekend, at Amelia Island, I did the talk there with him, fireside chat, and he has a quote where he says that unless you push yourself, if you put yourself against the best, if you haven't pitched your team against the best, if you haven't driven against the best, then victory's slightly hollow. You can never say you're one of the best. And then, to us when he sat here, I'm staring across at you going, that is Fernando Alonso. I was a little starstruck. He's the guy. Those hands have done it. For me, arguably the best driver of our generation, the last 10 years. What was it like for you knowing that you could look at your data, you could look at the lap times, really you're seeing the heartbeat of another human being who happens to be pretty super.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was, it's interesting, obviously.
Where were you quicker?
No, I think that's the tough thing. I mean, you can put the same guys over a 24-hour race, different conditions, you know, getting the most out of the tire at different points. You want to know?
Yeah.
I think he was like, he's a beast under braking. But at the same time, like you look at a Fernando and you think he's an extremely aggressive driver, but like our car doesn't like an extremely aggressive driving style, and he could adapt to that extremely fast. So he would be able to extract stuff from like old tires faster than a normal guy, where like he could just adapt to that situation extremely fast.
I noticed his line in the first hairpin. He was doing a much more exaggerated kind of traditional late apex, which most prototype guys don't do anymore, and that stood out to me early on. And that might be coming off the corner straight.
Yeah, I think having him and Kamui, like Kamui is a different driving style as well. And you look at their data, and it looks like one thing, and then you look at the onboard to kind of understand how it translates to that. And it's interesting to see the different lines. And for us, Daytona has had one line forever. Like, it's been the Max Angelelli line, the Scott Pruitt line, where you turn in early and you hug it around. And these guys are coming in, and they come out of the dog leg, they go hard left, which you never do. Or like we never did. But our cars are so agile now, there's so much downforce that you can bring it right back, and it opens up the corner. So like for us, maybe we were stuck in a rut driving that same line every year, and they're coming in with fresh eyes, fresh blood, and
challenging the status quo.
Exactly.
Literally.
So it's interesting. It pushed us, definitely pushed me, and I definitely learned a lot. And it was a good experience.
That's kind of scary. Now, Sebring is famous for throwing something at you you've never seen before. I mean, you can't prepare for everything. How do you feel going into this one? What's it going to take to win it?
Yeah, I think we won in 17, starting the same position we qualified today, 6th. So you don't need the fastest car. Last year we finished 2nd, where we clearly didn't have the fastest car. So if we stay out of trouble for 8 hours and go racing the last 4, I think it's anyone's race.
Is Ringer up for back-to-back races physically?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got a masseuse. I think he's been training hard. He's got 2 babies now, so hopefully he's used to the lack of sleep. But I think, he's done a really good job this weekend. Just it's hard to bounce from an LMP1 car to an LMP2 car or a Cadillac, but he's been able to adapt extremely fast.
Now, you were such a good sport coming on at the last show with Rodney and sharing stuff with us, and you challenged me. You surprised me with a request to do the Mobius, which I literally, it's been so long. I haven't done it since my accident, which was 27 years ago. Jeez. And so I feel like I let you down. I kind of feel like I owe you.
You can do Mobius?
I'm going to do. I actually tried it and I can do it. It's not pretty. It's not.
He actually did practice in his hotel room that night, and he came back the next day going,
I can do it.
It's not meant to be pretty. It's a freakish looking thing. But here.
Do you want to see the Mobius? This is a beautiful thing.
You see the Mobius?
You need to see this.
Is this the song that goes with it?
Pleased to meet you.
Oh!
It's a bit of an orangutan look.
Oh, that is so. I apologize, everybody. He was my co-host. Dancing will not be a feature of this show for too much longer. Listen,
it's
guys.
Impressive.
It was
very
good. I mean, to see a 6'5" guy do the orangutan across the thing, the Mobius. That was pretty good.
You can't ask people to do stuff. I really didn't want to do that.
No, that
but
was
if
funny.
you don't do what you ask them to do,
oh my God, that was brilliant. Well, listen, Wayne, thanks so much for coming on. I know you're going to be in the box for 12 hours. Make sure, is your beautiful wife going to be right behind, as always, checking on your progress?
Oh, for sure.
That would be great. And listen, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for having
guys.
me on
Listen,
again.
when we come back.